Welcome back to Emily A to Z. I'm Emily, and this is another TBR Tackle, and I'm gonna start this one off with a bang. Pun intended. I read this yesterday. This is a manga. This is the first volume in the Dangerous Convenience Store manga series, and I picked it up because it sounds really cute. This is a down on his luck cashier and a handsome stoic gangster. So he's a young college student. We've got like our grumpy man here who's like older and mysterious. And I thought it was gonna be like a grumpy sunshine gangster, and it is. It's also explicit. I didn't know. So imagine my surprise when I'm invested in this storyline of this young man who is trying to work a night shift and put himself through college and pay for his brother's medical bills while dealing with shady characters, and he's all this stuff. And then this guy comes in and is protective and helpful. And then they're like, on page. Okay, I don't read a lot of romance. I really don't. I've never really read a lot of smut. I did not know what I was getting into. My eyes have been opened. I cannot unsee certain things. That being said, I read it in one night and I gave it a 4. And then I put volume 2 on hold today at work. I'm invested in the story, okay? Not just the penises. I'm invested in the story. I want to know what's going on, what happened to his brother, what's the shady dealings is our guy up to. Okay, I actually like the story. If you had told me that this is what I would be reading in 2025, I would have thought you were lying to me, but here we are. And that's how this video starts. Hey, guess what? I went to the eye doctor today and they dilated my eyes. So like, look at this. I can't see shit. There. Everything's blurry up close. I mean, distance vision, right? Like, it doesn't affect your distance vision as much as it affects your near vision, but like my pupils are huge and I can't see. But it's Wednesday. There won't be a Whip Wednesday more than likely today because I can't fucking see up close. It just always makes me laugh because I know that I look like a psycho. Like we all just look, because you like do this because you can't see up close, but like your pupils are dilated, so you're letting in more light gets let in, so bright is not better, which is why I'm not standing in front of the window. I would have prepped ahead of time for Whip Wednesday, but my in-laws were in last weekend, so I didn't film while they were here, and that's totally fine. I can take a day off. And by the time you see this clip, it's gonna be next week. Whatever. I'm just explaining why there wasn't a Whip Wednesday when there wasn't a Whip Wednesday, and it's because I had an eye doctor's appointment and they dilated my eyes. And the funniest part is the last time this happened too, I was like, oh, I need new frames. And without fail, every time I go to start picking out frames, I start to lose it, so I can't see what I look like. So I always end up, what I did, I texted my husband and was like, hey, they're dilating my eyes. And then I went and picked frames that I could kind of tell that I liked, put them on my face, took a photo and sent it to him and was like, help. And he was like giving me feedback. We picked the frames. It'll be a couple weeks, but I'm really excited. I have some new frames coming. I'm going to get some more contacts. I just wear dailies for when I need them. And yeah, but that was just this quick update because I love that I look insane and an explanation for why there's no Whip Wednesday story time today. So I'll catch you soon though, because I have book stuff, but I'm not going to do it when I can't even tell if I'm like in focus completely. So I'll see you soon. It is Thursday morning, which means I am wrapping up this TBR Tackle because I don't think I'm going to finish any other books today or this week. Today, before I start recording for TBR number 5, which is going to be after February starts. So I'm thinking with TBR Tackle, I don't think I'm going to split it up by month. I do like what I've been doing so far, which is just this chronological. Every week I just talk about what I've been reading in that particular week. I'm really enjoying this process. I think it's fun. It gives you kind of an insight of what's been going on day to day. And it's kind of a fun experiment. It keeps me focused, it keeps me dedicated, and it keeps me on track with being consistent with my videos, and I really appreciate that. So I think I'm going to keep that up, and then there will just be other videos. I don't know if I'm going to do wrap-up videos because I'm consistently posting what I'm reading. I'm still working that out, but there will be a February TBR that you'll see before this video actually comes out, which is so weird to think about, that I've got all of these things kind of running at the same time. It's crazy. Anyways, let's wrap this video up before it gets too long. I guess this is going to be a really short TBR video because my in-laws came to visit and that was fantastic. I did not film while they were here because I was enjoying my time with my in-laws. They are wonderful people, and I am so incredibly grateful and lucky to have such kind and loving in-laws. I married into a really, really good family. So I am just forever grateful. I'm gonna make myself cry. When my mother-in-law was here this weekend, she told me that I was her daughter-in-love, and it was so cute. She's a great mom. Anyways, but I didn't film while they were here because, again, enjoying time with them. But quick rundown, they came, we hung out, they got to see Caden's sports, and they did go skiing. The boys went skiing Friday night and snowboarding. While they were out skiing, Mom and I went and had dinner together, and we went to a hibachi sushi place. We were gonna go in and have sushi, but they were kind of busy, and they were like, but we could do hibachi. So we're like, sure. It was hilarious. If you've ever gone, you know, they do the traditional like onion volcano, or they'll like flip food into your mouth. It is so much fun. This place did something I have never done before, which was he pulled out a water gun, a super soaker that was full of sake, and sprayed it into everyone's mouths. It was, I've never had that happen before. It was hilarious. We did not know what it was though. They did not tell us beforehand that it was sake. So that was quite a surprise. But we had fun. The dinner, it was great. And then we came home and we were gonna watch a rom-com, but we couldn't find one that we wanted to watch. So instead, we just sat next to each other and read, and it was awesome. I love it. We just sat quietly. The dogs slept, the cat snuggled and purred, and we were reading together, and it was a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I started this that night, which is All That Is Wicked, a Gilded Age story of murder and the race to decode the criminal mind. Quite a long subtitle there, by Kate Winkler Dawson. This is the January pick for the Morbidly Curious Book Club. I'm kind of attending that. I found that you can find them on Instagram. I guess I can link their Instagram down below. It is the same, Morbidly Curious Book Club on Instagram. where every month they tackle different nonfiction books that kind of delve into the darker side, the weirder side, the creepier side of nonfiction. And this is following Edward Ruloff. In 1871, condemned prisoner Edward Ruloff sat in a cold, dank cell awaiting execution. He had been tried and convicted of multiple crimes, including robbery, kidnapping, and cold-blooded murder. Yet, there were powerful forces advocating for his release. This man, many experts proclaimed, was too intelligent to be killed. A parade of 19th century mind hunters came to meet and examine Ruloff. The alienist, who speculated about the source of the convict's madness, the neurologist who wanted to dissect his brain, the phrenologist who analyzed the bumps on his head, the scholar who thought Ruloff held the key to a new theory of universal language, even the newspaperman who knew he had a great story to tell. Each expert thought Ruloff's brain could answer the essential question, is evil born or made? The truth is, every man had only part of the complete picture. In All That Is Wicked, expanded from season 1 of her hit podcast, Tenfold More Wicked, Kate Winkler Dawson draws on dozens of interviews and never before shared historical documents to present a shocking window into the mind of a psychopath through the scientists whose work would influence criminal justice for decades to come. That is this book. I'm fairly through it. I'm not going to finish it tonight, but I'm going to continue reading some of it. It's okay. I don't know if I came into it blind. I had never listened to the podcast. I knew nothing about this guy, Edward Ruloff, didn't know anything about his case or anything like that. So I came in completely blind. And I think there is kind of a downfall in that I believe our author is assuming that you do have some knowledge already, or that you had listened to her podcast and were a fan and you were coming in with information. It does feel that way. So there's been kind of like a race to catch up in a sense. And that, I don't like that. I don't know if it's also just me and nonfiction, but I feel like every time I sit down to read this for more than 20 minutes, I start to fall asleep. And it's not that it's not interesting, I just can't stay awake. I've been having trouble sleeping again. So then I sit down and read, and it's not just this, it's like any book. I sit down and physically read and I'm just zonked. So that hasn't been making it any easier. But it is interesting. The chapters are broken off. I do appreciate that. They are broken down into basically like who comes to visit. It's telling the story of this guy and like his crimes, but it's told in segments based off like who came to visit him in prison. So we start off with the author, and then the newspaper guy comes. So it's how each of these people did come to talk to him and like his story. And it is crazy to me how this man managed to avoid being hung or put to death so many times. Like, that's crazy. I did finish a different book. I don't think I mentioned it at all. I listened to The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom by Sherry Frankie. That was really powerful. If you have followed along to any degree of the 8 Passengers drama that like unfolded across YouTube and everything like that, it's been crazy. That like story broke a couple years ago. The oldest daughter, Sherry Frankie, wrote this memoir detailing what her life was like up until that point, living with her mom, Ruby Frankie, who ran this YouTube channel and became incredibly famous on YouTube, documenting their life as a family of 8 and living in the Mormon faith over in Utah. And then how her mom's decline when she got involved with Jodi Hildebrand into like the connections universe. Like, it is crazy. And it was a very powerful memoir. I gave it 4 stars because it is her story. Like, I've talked about this before, like, it feels weird to try and like rate someone's memoir. Like, this is their life. Who am I to judge? But like the writing at times was kind of stilted, or it felt very, like it felt very like current day, like modern day kind of thing, where some like I kind of cringed at some of the language where like in a few years, this won't be the slang or the lexicon anymore. So it's going to be kind of like awkward, but like it was a great story. Look into that if that's something you're, but just be warned, like there is a lot to do with like religious, like religiosity, religious scrupulosity, child abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and neglect. There is mention of sexual assault. Like it is very heavy, but I think she does such a great way of writing it, to get her story out. And wow, I listened to it in like 2 days and that was it. It just was released like this year, end of last year, but it's brand new. Crazy. So I did finish that. What else? You know, I finished The Dangerous Convenience Store, volume 1. You saw that at the beginning. This cute, adorable book. Promptly put number 2. It arrived. I am taking no questions. I am taking no comments. I don't want to hear anything about it. I need to know what happens. Not just the sex. I need to know what happens. But this is volume 2. And we are still going to be following our little convenience store guy, and he's not sure what's going on with this hunky gangster, which is this guy, tall, dark, and handsome here. Look at this little cinnamon roll in the background. They need to know they've had a one-night stand, they went on a date, but he's still hung up on his crush that he has at school, and this guy is, won't open up and is stoic and doesn't talk. It's cute. So there's that. But I think, and I finished my audiobook, so I have started my next audiobook, and I have started Stay Awake by Megan Golden. Essentially, a woman Liv wakes up in a taxi, like comes to in a taxi with no memory of like how she got there, what's going on. She's got blood on her hands. She's also covered in like writing with all of these notes that she's seemingly left herself of like, stay awake, don't fall asleep, don't trust anyone, no idea what's going on, just to realize it has been 2 years have passed and she has no memory of anything that has taken place over these past 2 years. And oh, there's a knife in her pocket and she thinks she might have done something horrible, but she can't remember. And now somebody is like calling her. I'm 36% of the way in, and it is told kind of like a dual timeline. It'll bounce back and forth. It'll go from like 2 years in the past and we get like snippets of events that happened 2 years ago, and then it fast forwards back to like the present day, 2 years in the future, all on the same day. It's like our story starts at like a Wednesday at like 3 a.m. and so every time it jumps back to the present, it's like Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. So we're still on one day, but then it jumps back. Does that make sense? I don't know. I gotta go. I want to finish my coffee. I gotta shower, get ready for work, all of that fun stuff. It's so nice having regular coffee creamer. That's gonna wrap up this one. Short and sweet, which is great because last week's was really long. Love that for me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all again very soon. Be easy with your hearts.